you can simply hit file, make a copy, and have it yours. Either way you would like to do this, it is all up to you. But let's go ahead and take a look at the naming convention. And if you're new to data, if you're new to an operation where you're actually worried about your KPIs and making money, well, this may not be important to you. And let me explain. It took me a while to understand the compound effect and understand like why it was so important to track all of the old stuff, right? And essentially, that's what KPIs are built off of. Key performance indicators are built off of everything you've done in the past, right? But there's way more to it than just key performance indicators, and I'm not going to get into all the different things we measure, but in short, your list, your this is like how you measure your markets, right? This is how you know when you invest money and you figure out what's coming back in, this is how you figure that stuff out. So having a good naming convention is extremely important. So for instance, you want to know what year, month, and all that other stuff when you bought it. You want to know, if it's active. You want to know if it's archived. You want to know if it's pending, like you're waiting on it to be uploaded, like whatever that is. And also active, archive, pending, this is something that if you only use Truly Creation with utilizing the Bullseye marketing system, you probably won't use it much at all. You probably just always use active, and then you're going to set it and forget it because that's the power of the Bullseye marketing system. Once you fill it with fuel, it's going to compound over time, and you don't have to worry about resting your list and all this other stuff. Right now, if you go out and use a multi-line dialer like Batch Dialer, Call Tools, all this other stuff, Launch Control, like I've used all these stuff, and I made a lot of money using them. Launch Control, like we was paying $700 a month for the longest time to send out text messages, and it produced revenue, but it wasn't without its own hardships, right? And I don't think that's the best way for most people. However, we see all these big players do it, so we think we need to do it, but you have to have money in order to market that away. And that's not what we're doing inside Deal Boss Project. We're sniping down. We're sniping down, and we're going to actually understand, when we pulled our list, when we skip traced our list, what, market we're in, what niche category are we in. We're going to understand the descriptions, right? Like all this stuff. And you'll probably never actually look at this again, but you'll probably ask one of your team members to go back and say, hey, out of all the data we pulled last year, I want you to go back and look at all of our lists and figure out where we made the most money, which market we made the most money in. And now they can do that. Okay. Another thing is like wherever you store your data, we use Google Drive. But whenever you're in the search bar, you might be like, Eric, like, I'm just going to search for Excel documents. I used to think the same thing, except what happens is whenever you use Excel documents and you search in there, well, all these Excel documents are coming up versus just being able to type in L underscore S. And now all your lists that are marketing like lists to market with and they're all related to sellers comes up and you can look at it really quick without having to go into a drive and into a folder and all that other stuff. So it's all about speed and just ease. Make it easy on you. So I would highly recommend for you to utilize this naming convention that's already done for you. You'll never need another naming convention as long as you go ahead and use this one. Okay. We'll talk about into BS, which means needs to be skipped, R2M, which means ready to market, and then you can put active and etc. Right? Again, in most cases, you will probably send us a list saying R2M, right? So you'll name it just like this at the top, R2M, and then active, and we're going to go ahead and upload it, put it in your system, and that's it, right? We'll send it back to you, formatted, and you're good to go. So this is your naming convention. Again, you would want to make sure you have the naming convention for whenever you drop your data right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and just copy.